Hey guys, how's it going everybody? This is TheStormPow, and this is an underused match in black and white. I had found this guy on the Smogon Battle Finder, and for those of you who are familiar with how that system works, this guy had typed in on his rule set, like black and white, UU, and in parentheses he put, I am 6-1 in this team, by the way, or something like that. And at first I was kind of iffy on challenging him because I'm not incredibly confident in my skills yet, and but in the back of my head I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go for this, and I'm gonna see how well I can do. So I ended up challenging him, and as I was looking at his team, I realized the Blastoise and the Slowbro would be pretty vulnerable to my Chandelure, and that may sound weird because my Chandelure is a fire type and they're water type, but my Chandelure knows Energy Ball, and my Chandelure is basically a special attack beast. It's modest, full special attack EV, and it is choice spec. So anything that it can be super effective against really doesn't have many hopes unless it has very good defense. Which actually this guy does have pretty decent defense on most of his pokes. He does have a Zoroark, but I end up forgetting that he has it later on when he actually uses it. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shut up and go ahead and get into the fight. So yeah, he starts out with his Blastoise, and I had started out with my Chandelure because I was sort of like, come at me, bro. You know, like I was saying, I knew that my Chandelure could be a pretty big threat to it, and most of his water types are slow as shit, so I knew that I could outspeed it with an Energy Ball, but I was thinking that it would knock it out, but I guess I was being a little bit overconfident since Blastoise is a pretty decent wall. It does take hits pretty well, considering the amount that the height, I can't even think of the right word, but considering how good my special attack is, he took that pretty well, and I figured he was going to withdraw, but I didn't know what the hell he would withdraw into, so I just went for another Energy Ball, figuring that I couldn't go wrong, and with his Blastoise, he was probably expecting me to switch out, because I knew he wouldn't go for a Hydro Pump or anything, because he would expect me to change out, you know, so he just went, he went for a Toxic, excuse me, just going for a safe bet, and I was expecting a Crunch, so I switched out into Heracross, because I used to use Snorlax, and I knew that Crunch is a pretty good move to have on it, and I knew Heracross could take it pretty well, and I decided to go for a close combat on my Heracross, because I knew that that would just whoop Rosie O'Donnell's fat ass, because I focus a lot on attack on my teams, and I think you guys will notice that, because my Heracross is adamant, full attack EV, and he is banded, and the thing about using choice items and using attacks like close combat that deal a lot of damage, however they lower your stats, it's a really good combination, in my opinion, because you're going to be changing a lot. You're going to be changing out a lot anyway, so even though my stats may have lowered from close combat, I'm just going to switch right out, and if I ever need to go back into Heracross, then yeah, he's just going to be able to do it all over again with his stats back to normal. And I really didn't know exactly what he was going to do, so I just switched out into Chandelure for hoping for a good bet. I wasn't really sure what he was going to do with that, but I think I was expecting a Fire Punch from him, which is why I switched out into Chandelure, and because I didn't want Heracross to do that. If I had known that he was going to go for a nasty plot, I probably would have just close combated that bitch and hoped that it did good damage. It probably wouldn't have knocked it out, though, but it would have done decent damage. And right here, I was kind of like, shit! You know, because my Energy Ball was the big threat to the Slowbro, but I was banded, I mean Spect or whatever, so I just used Flamethrower, so I switched out into Suicune, because I don't know why he used a Scald there. I guess he was expecting me to stay in. He may not have realized that I was Spect and that I was just going to switch out because I had Flamethrower, but I go for the HP Electric, hoping that it would do something else. I think I have another Electric move on my team, or I may not, but my Suicune is pretty specially attack, bulky, or not bulky, that's not the right word, but it has decent special attack, not the best on my team at all, but he goes for another Scald, I guess, hoping to get me burnt and get me out of here, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck's going on right now? I didn't know what to do right now. I wasn't sure if he was going to change out or not, but he didn't, so I just go for the HP Electric, because a lot of times when I'm not sure if they're going to change out, I just go for the same move that I just did, hoping for the best, you know, because if they stay in, that's great. If they change out, hopefully I don't get unlucky and he doesn't change out into something weird. And he sends out Blastoise, and I'm like, what the fuck? You send out probably your slowest Pokemon on your entire team, and I've been going super effective against a water type on your team. I don't know if he thought my HP was dark or something, and that was affecting the psychic part of what's his face, Slowbro. and he switches out to his Emboar, and I wasn't going to do that because HP Electric would do probably close to nothing. He goes for a Dark Pulse on me, I guess because he didn't know of anything else, and he probably figured I was going to change out. Doesn't do that much to me, but then he goes for a Focus Blast, and I was like, holy shit, because I knew that was going to kill my Rhyperior really easily. But I swear, when I use Focus Blast, it has 10% accuracy, but when other people use it, it's 100% most of the time. So I lose my Rhyperior really easily, and he goes for a Dark Pulse because I thought that I could outspeed him and go for a Psychic on him because, you know, Emboar is part fighting. I could have sworn that I would outspeed the Emboar, but I guess that I was wrong. I knew that the Dark Pulse was going to be a threat to me, but I didn't worry. Excuse me, I didn't worry about it too much because I was so sure I would outspeed him. But he goes for a Dark Pulse, and I was really iffy on sending out Suicune because I figured that it would die with one Dark Pulse, as close as it is to dying. So I go for the Surf, of course, just, you know, in the off chance that he survived. And when I saw the health bar lowering so fast, I was like, yes! But of course, it had to have a Focus Sash, and it revealed that he had a Zoroark, which I had completely forgotten about seeing on the team preview. And he goes for the Sucker Punch, which of course easily finishes off my Suicune. And I just send out Heracross, hoping to go for a fighting move, like the Close Combat or something. But of course that thing outsped me, which I wasn't expecting. And he goes for a Flamethrower, which was a good move on him. But my Heracross, I have full special defense EVs because that's the majority of the kind of hits that he takes are Fire and Psychic, and, you know, some flying moves are special attack and not physical, but so I have full special defense EVs on there, and he can take decent hits. And of course he sends out the Emboar, and he goes for a Flare Blitz, and I was really expecting to outspeed this guy. I don't know why I couldn't outspeed him. But yeah, so he ends up outspeeding me. I guess that Emboar is faster than I would have thought, you know, just because of how big it is and those stubby-ass legs. I didn't think it could go very fast. And he goes for a Flare Blitz on my Darmanitan, and I'm pretty sure that I end up going for an EQ or something on him. And he's just doing pretty decent damage for a not very effective thing. I mean, I know my Darmanitan isn't exactly the most bulky poke in the world, but, you know, it's more offensive than defensive. But anyway, my EQ ends up taking out his Emboar and finishing the fight. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of this fight. I thought it turned out pretty well, but, yeah, I would like to thank you all for watching. Hope you have a nice day, and goodbye.